Hey everybody, it's Kill Casey with your 11 o'clock update live from the Menard Sports Complex here. This is one of the 2 evacuation shelters that have been staffed by the American Red Cross volunteers for the McKinley Fire. Behind me are the evacuees. They're helping me with this live broadcast. We've been talking all morning about what we want to share with you, the public, in this, our very sincere Break It Down session. After I do a little bit of a fire update, we'll have Connie Black from the American Red Cross let folks know what's available here for folks who still might be car camping or unaware of what's available. So, fire, we have containment now. We have 10% containment on the top part of the fire line. The map's not showing black, but it is contained and being mopped up on the north end, tied into the swamp. The Midnight Sun hotshot crew from Fairbanks is working very hard on that the last few days, with White Mountain working on the west side, still doing point protection, making sure the houses are secure on this side. And one of our evacuees wanted us to make sure we told you that last night, the activities of the engine crews are to patrol all around the structures and respond to any candling or little flare-up, we call it, around the structures. So we have 4 engines. We had a couple more come down from Delta Area Forestry just yesterday. Thanks for coming. And they're out there on the night shift. They just got done this morning, and they reported that there were numerous instances of calls coming in about the trees candling. The candling is a normal part of the fire. The highway is in the middle of it often in cases, and so those are called interior. Please only call if it's a life threat or if there's a tree right next to a structure. And often when the crews do come and check it out, they do have a good amount of black, I call it. I was about to try to show you distance. A good amount of black between what's candling and the structure, because we've already patrolled all around these structures. So often the visual of a tree burning near a house might actually be deceiving to the firefighter on the ground. They have enough defensible space already in place. So they got a lot of calls all throughout the night, so please only call if it's a life threat or a structure threat. There's going to be internal candling all throughout the next several weeks until we have rain. We also wanted to talk about the patrol on the mile 88 Hidden Hills Road with the state troopers has been beefed up as a checkpoint. They're stopping and checking people's addresses, verifying, and we wanted to also let you know a lot of the firefighters are driving regular unmarked pickups. They don't say they're from a rental company. They don't say that they're the Midnight Sun's hotshot necessarily. Pioneer Peak Crew has a nice emblem on theirs because they're from Palmer, but the Rogue River hotshots and the Warm Springs hotshots and the incoming crews from the United States, they don't get to bring their trucks with them that show you Rogue River hotshots. They drive unmarked SUVs and rentals, and they have a lot of gear in the back, so that might be misinterpreted as people driving around the neighborhoods in here with a lot of gear, and people interpret that as looting. That's called firefighting Alaska style. We don't have the ability to ship the crew vehicles up here with them. When you see footage from the lower 48, you always see the crew name written on the buggy. That doesn't happen up here in Alaska. We don't want you to be confused by that. Okay, Connie Black's gonna join us here, American Red Cross volunteer, and she's coordinating the center here. What can you tell us and what folks need to know?
Good morning. We have the shelter open here. We have approximately, ranging anywhere about 60 people. We're providing warm food. We are providing coffee, and showers are available. We are also providing nurses and health support, anything that anybody needs, from clothing vouchers to Gauss vouchers here. So if you need a warm, safe place to come and stay, please come to the shelter. If you want to just check in, hear the briefings from Kale, then you're welcome to do so.
Thank you, Connie, we appreciate it. And just to repeat that real loud, there's a whole range of services here, from vouchers to get gas and get help. There's showers. We have pet food outside. There are folks here with their pets of all sorts, and those pets are getting fed. Just a lot of support network. So if you know of somebody who is not receiving these services, Connie and the other evacuees would like to see them here to get what they need. There's food, coffee. It's a great setup, and the American Red Cross goes way out of their way. So one of the ways we ask you to support the firefighting effort is if you feel moved, make a donation to the American Red Cross. 90% of that goes to the effort right here. Only 10% goes to overhead. There's also the Willow Fire Department has set up a cash donation fund to help them improve their area. I talked to the chief this morning at briefing. They don't need any more Gatorade or socks or anything else like that. At this point, folks just want to improve their infrastructure for the future. We do want to thank you for the thank you banners. I saw a couple new ones driving down to Wasilla today that somebody put up on the west side of the highway. And I get goosebumps every time I see it, because I know those incoming crews are coming off the jet port in Anchorage. They're getting briefed, they're excited to come help. And when they see those signs, boy, I'll tell you what, these are mission-driven firefighters. They want to do a good job, and you fuel them with that support. The Sheep Creek Lodge banner is amazing, and then all the postcards. I was handing them all out this morning at the briefing. People are writing home to their families, and when their families get those cards, it's a very nice gesture. So thanks for all that support. So again, let's get back into some activity here. We do have the hot spot right near mile 88 that we're working on very hard. The map has changed today. It's gotten smaller due to more accurate mapping, so you'll see this is milepost 84 down here at the toe of the fire. I know we're working on a small map. Jake's trying to zoom in for us, but the fire line is more accurate now. It's on the west side of the Cushwitna River. We do have this entire southern end with dozer around it, and it is being mopped up. So those of you who have been asking about the southern progression, this scary looking red blob is actually completely circled in dozer line. It has been for several days, and that's been one of our major points of focus down here. We also have containment line built all the way up the west side, and we're plumbing it with hose pumps, hose lays, and porta tanks so the crews can mop that. We have dozer line being improved in this area. We had the spot fire yesterday we talked about on the night feed. This is the good, bad, and the ugly. It's bad to have a spot fire. It's really good to have air support and boots to catch it. So yesterday we hit it with retardant 5 loads, and today they're putting a dozer line around it, and that's going to hold for us. Everything's building up for being ready for the big event on Saturday. And when we talked here with my team of evacuees about how to present to you, we just want to remind you how critical Saturday is. Saturday's the crux for us in a lot of ways. We're going to have that northeast wind coming in at about 15 miles an hour, which is about half of what it was for the big wind event, but it is going to have some impacts on the fire. We're staffing up accordingly for it, so we're reporting 273 firefighters at the beginning of shift today, but then throughout the day, folks will be coming in. We'd like to be up to 400 firefighters for the weekend or thereabouts, and therefore we can work on attacking any spot fire that might impact Hidden Hills Road or cross Caswell Road. The fire is still right along Sheep Creek on the west side. The map's showing that a little bit better, so that riparian area can be used. Anytime we can use a natural feature, we do. Jake, what questions might we have from the audience today?
Let's see.
I know folks have been giving a lot of compliments on here. We're passing those on to the fire crews. We want to give a quick shout out to Camp Ladasa. They fed the firefighters. A couple churches got together in the first couple of days and fed about 200. So thank you, Sister Sue and Wendy and company.
So we have something. A lot of people have been extremely concerned about the Alaska State Fair fireworks. Is this something they should be worried about?
So there's been a burn suspension for all of the borough here and in Kenai, and that suspension went into effect yesterday morning. I'd imagine the state fair coordinators are working very close with the state fire marshal on that exact topic, but just for everybody's very crystal clear understanding, we are now moving into a part of the drought of August 2019 that is unprecedented in the last at least 20 years in this area. So when we look at our indices, and it's all scientific, we are now moving into uncharted territory. So it's extremely dry. The burn suspension means that if you are going out for your moose, if you have your favorite place to go that nobody knows, and you think it's okay to just light up a warming fire, that could actually start the new one somewhere around, wherever you are. And what that means is, please look out for the good of everybody. Nobody wants to be in this position of having either a human cause or a natural cause fire or a camper cause fire, because it's extremely stressful. Everybody here can attest to that. We're all hoping we get through Saturday so that we can look at the reentry process and how that plays out early next week.
Okay, we have another question or concern here. What about power lines? Are they being monitored and dealt with so we can get our power back sometime soon?
Great question.
At the end where it goes down into the swamp, and Sheep Creek has several trees that are potential problems. Has this area been checked?
Right, so good question. MEA has been having trucks work on this tree problem for days now, and anybody who's been driving the highway any more than once has seen the MEA trucks working, because the fire weakened trees where the fire impact along the road system here that was most severe continue to fall on the lines. MEA keeps chasing them, cutting them. Firefighters are not allowed to cut trees that are on a power line, so it's a process of calling them in. MEA is looking and working with our incident commanders, Norm McDonald and Tom Kurth, and the emergency director for the furrow, Ken, and everybody else about how to do the re-energizing and how to phase in all those next steps. So those discussions began long ago. As soon as there is a level 3 evacuation order, there's all those other pre-planning processes. How are we going to re-energize? When can we re-energize? Some of the poles have been falling over, like some of the trees, and then we want to get certain zones back on because we know that people have lost food in their freezers or that they're struggling to keep generators going out in the areas where they're trying to keep them going.
And we have another concern here from Eric Anderson. Would you like some vehicle magnets that say forestry for the unmarked vehicles, and if so, how many?
That would actually help. If they said fire forestry, I talked to the trooper this morning who would very much appreciate that. We want to remind folks, if you impersonate a firefighter, and it has happened before and people have gotten arrested, it's actually a big, big penalty. You are not allowed to scrape up a yellow shirt, try to pretend like you're a firefighter. That will get you into a series of serious charges. So, and also the speed. As you're driving through the closure area yesterday, they covered the speed signs, so it's reduced to 45, and they have put more placards that read to you, please slow down, firefighter and fire crews at work. They will ticket you, so please don't pass, and also we request that you don't play the locals game of tagging on to a responder who has their blinkers and has approval to get back to the fire line. If you do that, again, the troopers will start stepping up their enforcement. Nobody wants to be that hard on you, but it's a safety issue if we have people trying to draft into our area. Any other questions?
Looks like all the online questions.
Okay, great. Thanks for your support. We'll sign off here. We'll be back tonight. It looks like there's a DESHCA community meeting tonight at the Willow Elementary School for the DESHCA fire. I'll be there doing a little bit of an update on the McKinley Fire, and then the McKinley Fire is looking to have a community meeting tomorrow afternoon. There should be a structure report, a structure assessment report, and contacting the homeowners sometime tomorrow. I don't know exactly what the time frame is on that, but I believe it's going to be before our community meeting, and then folks will be able to find out the status of their structures. And so we'll wrap it up here and join us again tonight on the live feed.